Being a professional teacher, BPT1501, Assignment 6, Creativity and Innovation in Education for the year 2025. Good day everyone, my name is Marijke Cronk and today I will be presenting a creative teaching resource I designed for a grade 4 natural science lesson. The topic is the structure of plants, and the resource I will use is a colorful plant structure puzzle poster, as you can see. This tool is interactive, educational and fun, which is ideal for young learners in the intermediate phase. In this presentation, I will explain how I will use this resource to facilitate deep learning, promote engagement, and make content accessible, to bring joy into the classroom and encourage critical thinking. Deep learning goes beyond memorizing facts. It involves understanding concepts and making meaningful connections. This puzzle helps learners to understand the function and the location of each plant part. Instead of simply reading from a textbook, which happens a lot in classrooms nowadays, learners physically will place each puzzle piece of the root, the stem, the petal, the anther, and the seed in the correct place, which will help them to remember it better, as they will physically take part in building this puzzle. After I will let the learners assemble the poster, learners will each receive an A4 copy of the puzzle that they will stick in their books. I will then ask learners to explain each part and what the function of it is. For example, what do roots do and what is the function of it? And why are leaves important for the plant? This encourages them to process the information deeply rather than just repeat what they've been told or what they've read. To build on this, I will also ask higher order questions like, what do you think will happen if a plant had no roots? This develops reasoning and a deeper grasp of the plant system, and this will help learners to just think a bit more and to actually not just read off the book, but to think more than just what they read. This puzzle format naturally invites participation in the class. It is a hands-on, colorful, and large enough for a group use. During this lesson, I will divide the class into small groups. Each group will receive a set of labels or puzzle pieces. Like here, it's already been divided into different parts of the plants, that each group will receive a different part that they will have to come in and sample in the class. As a class, we will build the plant together, and each group will be responsible for placing and explaining one part. This keeps the learners active and not passive. It encourages collaboration, builds confidence, and makes each child feel included in the learning process. For visual learners, the bright illustrations help them to connect better understanding to the topic. For tactile learners, placing the pieces themselves adds value. The visual plus the physical plus the verbal combination increases engagement for all learning styles. And if a learner physically builds it and not just read, they will remember this much easier. Many learners struggle with the textbook-only learning. This resource is a visual and physical tool that breaks down complex content into easy to understand parts. I will use clear, simple language to explain terms like the stem, the root, and the petal, while pointing directly to the visual on the poster. For example, like the leaf, the stem, the root. For learners who speak English as an additional language, I will repeat the keywords to use gestures and relate the plant parts to things they already know, like a tree in their backyard or vegetables at home. Physical examples are much easier for learners to remember and to relate to that than just a whole lot of words. In addition, learners who might have learning barriers such as ADHD or reading difficulties can still participate by handling the puzzle, or they can describe what they see. To make the learning more fun and enjoyable, this will help the learners, especially because they're young, that loves the color, the movement, and group work, where they can be interactive. This puzzle makes the learning experience fun and interactive. We move away from the chalk and talk that we used to know in the olden days and give learners a real experience that they can enjoy and remember. To add excitement, I can turn the activity into a game. For example, timing how quickly learners can ensemble the puzzle or their part of the puzzle, or letting them compete in teams to identify plant parts. I will also include songs or rhymes to help them remember the parts, like the roots go down, the stem stand tall, the leaf catch light, and the flowers call. Fun in the classroom reduces stress and increases participation, and learners are more likely to retain what they enjoyed learning. This will also help learners to remember when they have to learn it for a test, because then they can remember the song or when they ensembled the puzzle for the different pieces. Fun in the classroom helps to reduce stress and it increases participation. Finally, this resource helps develop critical thinking skills. Once the puzzle is ensembled, I will pose open-ended questions like, what would happen if the leaves had to fall off the plant? Can a plant live without seeds? Why or why not? Why are the roots underground and not on the top of the ground? These type of questions helps learners to think beyond the obvious, consider the cause and the effect, and apply what they've learned in new ways. They must evaluate, analyze, and justify their answers, which is a key part of critical thinking development. Later in the term, I can also ask learners to create their own version of the plant diagram using drawings or natural materials. This will encourage creativity and independent thought. In conclusion, the plant structure puzzle poster is a simple yet powerful educational tool that supports meaningful, engaging, and inclusive teaching. It promotes deep learning, keeps learners actively involved, supports all learning styles, makes science more fun, and encourages critical thinking. Thank you for listening, and I hope you are inspired to use creative tools like this in your own classroom. Just as an addition, I would like to show you how the paper would look the A4 size that learners would stick in their books to help them look at it when they're not in a classroom, to recognize different parts and to remember what they've learned in the activity. Thank you, everyone.